obedient, make sure say you share this video. If APC want when we end Nigeria, we go end Nigeria. Obedient, we need to act very fast. Peter Obi life is in danger in the hand of Keyamo. Keyamo, Peter Obi no be mercenary can one arrest for no reason. Now we no commit crime. If you need war for this country, arrest Peter Obi. Try am, because una go turn us to slave after we una Godfather Buhari destroy this country. Arrest Peter Obi. Nobody go beg you not to arrest him. You be lawyer my foot. You say you want to arrest him. Anyway, more than hear what they talk to him. There is a they beg him. Some of obedient people get advice for Keyamo. Keyamo, we can't know that Peter Obi is the winner of this election. Go to anywhere, go to any court. It's a shame to say Peter Obi win Abuja and Lagos. It's a shame to all of you. Arrest him, nobody go beg you. You DSS they threaten now because he be lawyer. Lawyer my foot. Arresting Peter Obi now. War you won't cause for this country. We go destroy ourselves. Rubbish.
Good evening, my brother and sisters. I think we are one country, we have no other country. I think if there's anybody inciting people for violence, it should be Festus Keyamo. Festus Keyamo, Dante has a right. It's his own fundamental human right to speak. It's our right to speak. What is incitement? All is said, you must win the capital, which is Abuja, before you can be elected as a president. And if it's wrong, the court can decide that. So you're not going to be threatening Peter Obi or Dante. They are going to arrest them with DSS. Where were you when NC Olumu threatening every other ethnicity who is not Yoruba, that if they vote any other person in Lagos other than Tinubu, hair will roll? And hair did roll. And they had a field day killing people who did not vote for Ashiwaju. Did you petition the DSS or SSS? Nobody has, monopoly to violence. We are obedient people. We don't believe in violence. We believe in doing things obediently. So please, you are not the only lawyer in Nigeria. You are not the only senior advocate in Nigeria. Even your senior advocate, you didn't even merit it. You are a political prostitute. That's what you are. If you were an advocate, you should be in court to try your cases. Instead of you coming out ranting and trying to incite people against Dante and Obi. Were you not alive when over 20 people died across Nigeria? We are not at war because of incitement from your camp. Are you not alive yesterday when the disgruntled Fani Kayode, who stole 2 billion naira to repair the airport in Port Harcourt, said that we are going to leash them, we are going to flush them out? Are we not Nigerians? Where were you when he said that? Did you write to DSS or SSS that what he said was wrong? Listen, we obedient being quiet doesn't mean we don't have the numbers, doesn't mean we don't have the strength. But we are one country. Please stop inciting people. Stop inciting people. We also have senior advocates on our side. You've not done anything right in your life. You were the same person who were persecuting Tinubu. You were the same person who said Tinubu was into drug dealing. Have you forgotten? The newspapers are there. The history are there. Even the same Fani Kayode who eat his vomit. The two of you are the same people who destroyed that elder statesman. The man who fought for Nedeco. The man who is a Democrat then. Are you all not coming that you love him more than we do? Be ashamed of yourself, Keyamo. I rest my case for now.
I think it's Lagbaja, the famous Afrobeat Nigerian musician. I think he had a song that says, Kulu, Kulu, Kulu Tempa, Kulu Tempa. That's what I'll say to all the political parties. At first, there's something that binds all of us in common, which is our roots. We are all Nigerians in the first place. The reason why we are having these arguments back and forth is because we share something in common. We are all Nigerians, and that supersedes anything and any other thing where we are from in the country. It's immaterial to the fact that we're all Nigerians. We'll have varying ideas but we will talk about our varied ideas with objectivity and the truth. It's as simple as that. So we want everybody to cool things down, because after all is said and done, after the case goes to court and the court makes a ruling, we'll still have to come together in this country. But that will be after justice has been done as regards the electoral process, which will be done in the courts. Mr. Keyamo that wrote a petition to DSS, I laugh a lot, because Mr. Keyamo pretty much went out there to school the television presenter, and I think it's not fair the way politicians treat journalists. You talk down at them, it's not fair. You pretty much were there schooling the presenter, and the next thing you went ahead to do all the things you complained against. Mr. Keyamo is his son, senior advocate of Nigeria, but on this section 25, Dr. Abati, do you know, despite the fact that case is in court, he gave an illegal opinion on section 25 right there on TV on a case that is already in court. He gave a legal opinion on, no, not section 25, this 25% in Abuja thing.
Section
134. He gave a legal opinion. They are empirical facts. Fact check me. When he was asked on the issue, he gave a legal opinion knowing fully well that the case is sub judice, like lawyers say, and it's already in court. And as a senior advocate of Nigeria, gave a legal opinion of a case that is in court on television. So who is going to charge him for that? Who's going to charge him for that? Then he says about the things that Baba Ahmed did say. You know, the truth has to be said. Any decision that is taken by the courts, democracy will not fade off in Nigeria. We will go through our path and will become better. But what we call on the judiciary to do is to ensure justice reigns. That's just all. And one too many times, those that are going to court are saying they want to challenge the process, and they have extensive things there in their petition to challenge. But in also being objective, and please, for the love of mercy, in also being objective, let us also balance things out. Apart from what I have pointed out, what Dasi Baba made and say it will not be a reign at the end of democracy in Nigeria, even if the court rules in favor of anybody. But in also being objective means that Festus Keyamo forgets the tweets of his very good friend and brother Bayon Onuga and Mr. FFK that are causing ethnic tension and ethnic baiting in the country. He also forgot to see MC Oluomo's message that it was a prediction and a threat that came to pass in Lagos. So that's where the hypocrisy is when we are talking about things on the national sphere. I know politicians will say the things they want to say, they want to make arguments and everything, but we need to cool it down, and we also need to be just as statesmen, because at the end of it, after all is said and done, we will have a country to build and we'll come together. All right, a lot to talk about, Ayo.
Yes, we did expect that the drama had only just begun post the announcement of the winner of the presidential election on 25th of February, and we have seen a number of things begin to unfold as the days go by. One of this, again, is in the interview granted, or first of all, starting with the petition written by the Minister of State for Labour and Productivity, Mr. Festus Keyamo, SAN, and of course his following interview, TV interview. Based on his petition is based, according to what she wrote to the DSS, on statements made by the vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed, and of course he also joined the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, in this complaint or petition to the DSS. I'd like to read the opening statement of the petition to the DSS made by Mr. Festus Keyamo. First of all, I must say that he said he's written this petition in his personal capacity as an individual, as a concerned citizen of Nigeria. That's how he ended the petition. But he opens it by saying that I write to the full realization that in a post-election period such as this, there is a need to soothe frayed nerves, lower the temperature, and begin the healing process. Let me end here for a few seconds. Now, one of the things we've heard, especially from the APC at this time, is the healing process. This talk about healing, or let's now begin to work together and come together. Now, the reason I'm pointing this out is because it speaks to what the actions of Mr. Festus Keyamo, and what a number of people have said is that the APC asked the Labour Party and other aggrieved parties, the PDP inclusive, to go to court if they didn't agree with the election outcome. Now, this message of healing, hence him saying that the statements made by Yusuf Dati Ahmed is incendiary, therefore we should be looking towards unity. But people have asked as well that, can healing occur without justice? Is it mutually exclusive to heal and also to seek justice? I know that's not what he was talking about. He was talking about the statement exactly, but it was important because he started his statement that way. Because in his way, he was making a case for why he believes the DSS should investigate, as it could incite people, young and old in Nigeria to, violence, if possible. Now, I'll give a little example and then I'll pass it on because I'm sure that Dr. and Rufai would also speak to this. But when we talk about justice and healing, I would give an example of a parent, 2 children. One has stolen a pot, the other's maybe possession, and then says, don't report to, just let's keep it quiet for the peace of this family, just let's move on. Yes, the peace of the family is very important, but it is also important that to enable or to teach the other person a lesson, it's important so that it doesn't occur again, that the other person is able to get some form of justice. Very important. In the same breath, Mr. Festus Keyamo, in the interview he did on another TV station, was doing almost exactly that which he was accusing Mr. Yusuf Dati Ahmed of doing, in terms of speaking out. Why is he saying that it was not the president-elect is not constitutionally recognized and so on? Because he also preempted the justice of the Supreme Court judges by making statements, not just at this interview, but in other forums, where he said that their case is baseless. The Supreme Court is going to throw the case away. So, just to mention that at this time, it is important that spokespeople like Mr. Festus Keyamo and the spokespersons from the Labour Party are careful with the words that they say. Yes, it is important to seek justice, but we must remember that it's the people that they seek to serve that they could, ultimately do a disservice to.
A number of things. Number one, all politicians, all stakeholders, all parties to the general election realize that the elections are over. Matters have been taken to court. Nobody should instigate violence. Nobody should try to do anything that will sound or look like incitement, because that is not the way to go. And the various parties, the major parties, 4 political parties, and the APC, haven't gone to court on different sides of the spectrum with regard to those elections. They should know already that the petitions haven't been filed. The matter is already sub judice. And so they must refrain from making, statements that will be prejudicial to the outcome of the process in court. That's very important. The second thing is the petition by Festus Keyamo. It's titled Petition Against Mr. Obi and Dati Baba Ahmed for making incendiary comments and claims capable of causing an insurrection or rebellion against the government of Nigeria and the duly elected president-elect. Thursday, March 23, 2023. And of course, this is the receipt, a copy of the received petition. Well, the point to note here is that Festus Keyamo is insisting that he has had to write this petition because of statements made by Mr. Peter Obi and Dati Ahmed. What we know is that Mr. Peter Obi sometime last week made it clear that he will not subscribe to an end INEC protest. He will not subscribe to an #end democracy protest. He made those 2 points clear. And that the option that is available to him is to go to court, which he has done, because he has faith in the judiciary. So, to that extent, Mr. Peter Obi has made very clear his choice in the matter. And on this program, he made a distinction between Labour Party and the obedient movement, which he says is larger than Labour Party. And sometimes there may be elements in the obedient movement saying certain things that may not really be the position of the party. As for the vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party, well, Keyamo is saying he appeared on television. And he said if Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is sworn in on May 29 as president of Nigeria, that may signal an end to democracy. I think that's what Festus Keyamo is holding on to. Why would Tinubu being sworn in signal an end to democracy? He also took objection to Dati Ahmed raising the question about Section 134(2) of the Constitution, which deals with, FCT Abuja, whether or not for a person to be president of Nigeria must win 25% in Abuja. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu got 18.8% from the Federal Capital Territory. But that's one of the major matters before the court, and it is for the court to determine that. So this is why it is important that all parties concerned should just calm down and allow the judicial process to take its course. However, Keyamo has received a response in equal measure from the Labour Party Presidential Campaign Council and also from Dr. Yusuf Tanko and other spokespersons of the party, including Dino Unifade. And what they have told him clearly is that he's joking and that nobody should take his joke seriously. And that, Keyamo is a known rabble-rouser who is just trying to impress his masters. Well, the election is over, gentlemen. Can we tone down the rhetoric? And in any case, the DSS is not going to just act on the basis of a petition from a partisan party. This is not the first time Keyamo will write a petition. Nothing came out of the last petition that he wrote to the DSS, because the DSS as an institution will not want to be seen to be taking directives or dictates from, a partisan political figure, trying to do his own job. And the election is over. We recall that Festus Keyamo is a Minister of State for Labor. That ministry, that assignment is still pending. Now that the election is over and it's petition time, is tribunal time, can Minister Keyamo please pay more attention to his primary assignment? And all persons who may be tempted to incite the public against the Nigerian state should refrain from doing so. That is very important.